Good morning, dear students. Yesterday we were studying about sustainable resource development. Today we are going to continue furthermore and we are going to deal with the resource planning. We have found out what are resources, why are they useful, and now why should we plan for it. So, resource planning. First, what we have to do is to identify the resources. Why? Because it is a complex process. It is a complex process, resource planning. So first we have to identify or identification and inventory of resources is to be done. Now, what is identification and inventory of resources? It means that first, on this world, on this land, we should first find out. That is known as mapping. Where are you going to find things? Mapping is to be done. After mapping, you have to find out how much, what is the quality and quantity. We have to find out all this. First map where the resources are going to be found, then how much quality, what is the quality of it, and how much quantity is available for a resource to be getting it. Like if it is in less quantity, it is no use of getting it out or digging it in. After this, doing this, we have to plan. Planning structure endowed with appropriate technology. Even skill is required. And then we have to set up institutional setup. Institutional setups. For why we have to do institutional setups? So that we can setups for resource development plans. Resource development plans can be taken up. After planning, set up an institution, then we have to find out the matching the resources. Matching means whatever the resource we have found out on this earth has to be used nationwide. It should be supplied to the different parts of the country also. Or when things are going to be made up from those things, it should be in a huge quantity for the economical growth of any country. So, matching the resource development plans with overall national development. These are the planning resources, the resource planning. Then we have land use. Land use pattern. Land use pattern. Like before we deal with this land use pattern, we should see what is the land resources in it, how much land resources is present in India. So, land resource in India. So, not India actually, the land is the most important source, because whatever we get is present on land only. So land is most important resource. Now, why? So it supports natural vegetation, wildlife, economic activities, but we have a drawback for this. World is quite big, but still it is limited. The land is limited. So it should be used effectively. It is limited, so it should be used effectively. Now, why it is limited? Because whatever, it cannot be expanded, it cannot be made, we cannot make it bigger. Now, when you talk about India, so let's take India as the whole of India as 100%. So out of this 100%, we can say that nearly 43% is plains. That is Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal. They lie in the plain areas, okay, which are extensively used, which provide agriculture and industrialization. It is easy to cultivate land or set up industries on flat areas, plains. Then it says 30% of India is covered with mountains. Mountains, that is Himalayas, right from Jammu Kashmir till northeast states of India. The hilly, they provide perennial rivers, means rivers that are present in Himalayas, they flow throughout the year. They provide tourism, hill stations, facilities like Dehradun, Shimla, Kullu Manali. The third says 27% of its are plateaus. That is Peninsula Plateau, the lower half of India. Maharashtra, part of MP, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, they are plateau, and they are very rich in reserves, rich reserves. They have rich reserves of minerals. So this is the basic information about India and resource planning. We are going to deal more about it in our further classes. So there's a question ki what is resource planning? What is a resource planning?